demonic angel, at least the bottom of my face. That's okay, you really don't need to see me that much. So, at least for this one. This is June 2022 Tarot Pick a Card. And I figured I'd like to do these at the last month of each week, so it's kind of like you're getting a mini reading for the upcoming month. I think it's kind of like what's in store for me. So it's kind of compacted in this way. If you want to see different spreads or whatever, you know, send me a request or something. But that way it's kind of a, you know, a mini reading, but you know it's relevant to like the next month. So I thought that's kind of one of those you know, very much a summary of the near future. So this is the best setup I have. I'm alone, had some time to kill. You know, I still have to get back to some of you, things like that, which I will, but I just thought I'm just gonna do this. You know, so I will put timestamps for each of the objects in the description below. And the way this works is that I'm just having some of my coffee as usual. You pick one of the objects, one of three in this case, and whichever object you're the most drawn to, you pick it, and I'll do a little reading for it. And obviously whichever object you pick, that's the reading that's meant for you. So if you can't really see them that good, I'll go over briefly. It's like a little tiger's eye heart, kind of here in the back from your point of view. This is a little, it's like a, I don't know, it's really cool. It looks like a rose, but it's like a carved rock. So it's a rose rock. Is there a rose rock? You know, a heart. This is like it's like a polished stone. And then, of course, in the middle, I have, it's a little cat. It was my mother-in-law's. She left a bunch of stuff when she moved. And some of them were broke, but they were in a collection of these, basically, you know, rock animals. So it says made in Peru. And she basically said, you know, have whatever, I don't take. But I think it looks really cool. It's like detailed carving. You know, even though some of the other ones are broke. There's a broken goat one I use for ritual purposes, but you know, hey, I mean it works. So anyway, I like the little cat. Just thought those were all sort of different vibes that came to me with these little objects. If you want to see, like I said, a different spread or something, or if this helps you in some way, or you know, I really appreciate the comments, and thank you for, you know, 820 subscribers, I think. I'll definitely be doing the Lover's card next, and then a lot more. So I'm just kind of sticking with that tarot kind of mindset for this. So yeah, timestamps in the description. So if you, I'm just gonna take a drink of my coffee. I'm gonna do like 30 seconds of silence, and you're gonna pick which one you want me to read to you in your mind. So the heart, the rose rock, so heart, rock, and the kitty. You know, I usually call it, but I want to call it kitty. So sorry, I guess it wasn't a very spiritual moment to listen to me like, you know, fucking drink my coffee, but well, I've had a kind of a busy last couple weeks, but basically I've been taking care of sick toddlers, and you would think in a weird way from the outside, I guess, that would be a lot of like, you know, they're gonna sleep more or something, but it's just more like just terrible all over the place hours, and all kinds of problems, accidents. Anyway, I just in such a condition, I just was like, we're all gonna have to get better first. So I'm back with this. The first reading I'm gonna do is the Rose Rock. Okay. The Sun, the Four of Cups, and the Fool. And I'll see if I can. When my partner's not so busy, I'll have him kind of, focus these angles. But in the past position for the Sun, that's basically, we're going into June 2022, and it's kind of, it really is like such an innocence and a childlike imagination, openness, really a sort of happy-go-lucky, free spirit. The glass is always full, that really made up a lot of your past. And there's so much to admire about that, because a lot of us leave, being a little kid behind. We stop, valuing imagination. We stop looking on the bright side. I mean, adults are very depressed, sad people. And obviously that's a very broad generalization, but, we're talking about, of course, it's understandable because age, makes you, and it's not all good. So, but here, this is that attitude of, and a lot of it's like a lot of renewal, new adventures, speedy recoveries from setbacks, so kind of hopping from adventure to adventure, and this sort of spirit that just carries you through your teenage years, and even into COVID and all these other times. There's still you're still able to tap that positive, carefree, imaginative energy. And then, because of that, I kind of mentioned that earlier, because of that aspect of innocence. So moving into the present, we have that transition where, that childlike openness for new experiences and adventures, but having this naive kind of an attitude, because we do have the naked child. This is, well, hey, if you try everything and things make you feel good, you realize as you become a teenager, but also here in this present moment of shopping makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good if you have something to escape from. All those endorphins, being able to start drinking as a teenager. I'm even going to throw, smoking pot in there. There's all kinds of, things to say about that, even though, it's largely legal in the United States. It's still something that could be very easily addictive, even at least psychologically. But, this could be casual sex, whatever. Well, that's probably not the heavens reaching out to give him casual sex. But, those would be more earthbound kinds of, hey, you're looking to fill your emotional cup. It feels good, so you're going to explore. And for a while, that really is filling. It's just a new experience. You drink it all in, and you know what? Whether you end up just trying to have a good time, and you just burn yourself out doing that, repeatedly, or you're depressed and you're trying to escape, this is still the same place that you end up. And that really is just, questioning that. A lot of times when this is reversed, I'll talk about keeping that in mind, that warning of, well, you're not ready to let go of this. You're like, I just can't let it go. I need something to cope. Even though none of this stuff makes me happy, there's got to be something else, right? Because here, sitting here meditating, even though the heavens is offering him a cup, and some people kind of say the perspective that he doesn't see it, another kind of way to look at this is he's kind of realizing that this emotionally happiness, this cup he's trying to fill, that's going to have to come from within, not from these other cups of sensory experience that you just are repeating until you become that slave to that habit, that addiction, that that really is a miserable way in itself, but that really the happiness is going to come from here, from within. So being just ready to move on from that all, like an experience, craving an emotional experience, fantasy like that, that's not going to fulfill you. So, that's like the evolution of this past to this present moment. I think that's really been happening for you for a couple of years, where it's like, hey, does this much whatever soda really make me, happy? Or does this really make me happy? Do I really care about the gossip that much? Whatever. Maybe I am happier if I do less phone time. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like that questioning in your head about that, that's been kind of shaping you as a person, that you've learned here that there's so much to experience, and just it's life, man. We dive right in and we're open. But the trappings of being a slave to, sensory experience to fill emotional voids is not really going to work out, and that completion of us comes from within. So that's really going to start leading to this changed energy here of the Fool. So he's a brand new beginning. He's going to go off the cliff. It does remind me a lot of death, but in this kind of positive way of like, if you were going to be reincarnated, well, you have to take that leap off the cliff in the astral plane to come back to the physical plane. So that's another leap into the unknown when we change planes. But this is just changing to the sense of adventure, and going from a childlike kind of perspective to a more mature, but certainly not tainted. This experience here of self-searching and questioning made for a more mature adventurer who really is very much more sure of themselves. He's got that great body posture and confidence, because even though he doesn't know where he's going or what's next, he knows he has himself, basically the healthy ego. So this is like, now that you've blended these two experiences here, you're ready for this new life, new adventure. It's not just, you realize there's so many ways of living, of thinking, believing, and you know, maybe it's just a brand change in states, going to a brand new job. Doing something different, you know, that you've never done before, like you know, especially after thinking like this way, and when you really question things and you question everything, going, well, I wonder what else is really out there that's not just what society says we're supposed to do to emotionally fulfill ourselves. But what's the adventure? And I really like the sun in both of these. The sun is out. The sun is just giving this energy. So we have that whole concept of being energized again. So this questioning period, specifically about, you know, things we do that, you know, if it's to the success, it's in an imbalance in some way, then there's going to be a void, or that we're trying to cover, and you know, that brings a lot of questioning. It's a very rich, necessary part of our lives, and that brings us to that mindset of everything's a new adventure, and that's really a great way to, I'm just going to shift a little bit to look at that. So just, you know, moving forward, you know that not everybody has good intentions for you, and not everything is just going to have, you know, no consequences, good consequences. But you know yourself a little bit more because of this, and things are really going to work out for you in this new adventure. So if you're thinking about it, especially if you're coming out of this, you know, this period of that questioning I mentioned, and if you really put in the changes, the personal changes, to not just emotionally consume, then, you know, I think that sense of adventure is really going to be renewing, you know, really renewing time for you. Anyway, so we will move on here to the next one, which is the cat. So I'll set it right here, I guess. See if okay. Yeah, I forgot which order I had them in, but because I really like to, you know, spend 10 minutes maybe thinking about it a little bit. So for the cat group, we have, you know, you're trying to carry your burdens, and you know what, maybe you do it. Maybe you do it with a lot of caffeine. You know, especially you did do it. Maybe you probably sacrificed some personal sanity. Maybe you lived with people you didn't want to. I mean, maybe you had to take, you know, many more jobs, whatever, doing school, taking out loans, whatever painful self-sacrifice, very burdensome, you know, kind of idea that you could take on for this chance of independence, essentially. And even though, you know, you were able to carry that, it was lonely, it was hard work, and it really made you grow up, you know, very, very quickly in that way of always seeking to do a lot for yourself, not easily able to accept help from others. So, you know, even though you eventually accomplished whatever goal you had for setting yourself up for in your life in the past, that was a major step towards this idea of independence. You know, it really is. When you made it to the town, the village, you accomplished that goal. That made you stop and question all this hard work. Was that kind of self-sacrifice worth it for me to gain this part of independence I wanted. And you know, part of that takes us to the present influence, which is judgment. So this is like saying, you worked so hard, you sacrificed so much, you put all these things in order, you carried them, and it actually brought you to accomplishing some very hard feat. Something so, and with that came this liberation, which now though is that whole period of thinking, right? Because he could sit and go, wow, that was a lot of fucking work. But now, it's like you're judging everything. Like, is it more important for me to just, you know, have free time? Because if you never have free time, you'll never be able to enjoy the things you own. Money, your place to live, whatever, attend your family's functions. So that doesn't make any sense, right? And those things are going through your mind here in the last, you know, couple of months of just going, you know, I just, you know, judge all these things I've been, you know, taught about. Now, some of the things about this is that this is more of like when you are a person is questioning what's right and wrong for them, right or wrong, but what, you know, what is really, like, you know, we all have that sense of, okay, this is what I do. But in order to fairly judge this situation, we're going to have to do one must think about both intuition and logic, feelings, thoughts, these different ways of basically processing information. But you really, at this two different sides, you have logic and intuition. So this is essentially like, what do you intuit is going to be right for you? Because if you just pick something intuitive like, man, you know, all that's important is free time, well, this doesn't really make any sense. As opposed to if you just pick logical, like save money, work hard, no time off, then, you know, that's another severe decision that's just on that opposite end. So it's like you're trying to find something in the middle while applying your best judgment of it, and trying to find the most logical, complete, holistic, yet intuitive and feeling-based, you know, judgment. Like, you're asking yourself, is this right for me? And you know, you're kind of, you know, it's a lot of times you'll be like going over the way that we all judge things, like, well, you know, this is how it was in my family when I was a kid, and this and that. So do I still believe that? Yes, I believe some of it, or no, I don't. And just really re-examining all that. And with that new sense of who you kind of, you know, we recreate when we question things, then you can further judge, you know, things with that more intent. Because judgment is really just putting together our social constructs from, you know, like what we thought as children to, you know, what our family thinks, to on that more of an individual level. So those different components. And all of that's going to be involved here, but it's very much like that multi-level personal judgment I mentioned. When, you know, coming to the future though, after asking yourself about all these self-sacrifices to accomplish a goal towards independence in some way, and what are the mysteries of life going to involve for you in, you know, what has made you lonely? What makes you feel emotionally full? Do you believe this, still that? And maybe realizing that that it's okay to be open to looking for a partner. Because when we're with a partner, we have to be open and vulnerable. And but the other part of that is you can be a team. So imagine if two people were working this. You have each, adult carrying 5 sticks. Hey, that's way nicer, right? He probably won't look like he's breaking his back. That's kind of that whole transition of being, kind of closed here, while one was, you were like, I've got to accomplish this, but being closed kind of made you like realize that you're lonely and shutting people out and probably judging them for maybe people don't make as much money as me, or I judge other people, but that really didn't set with you and question it. And now you're like, you know what, I really want to be in love. I want to have romance. I want to have a partner. But, realizing you have to be that open and vulnerable. So, coming over here to that, that's a benefit. Hey, you get some help. Also, you get, love and this whole family, and you need people to live with you. Stuff like that. That is itself a challenge because, being whatever, single is hard, being married is hard. All of life is hard. So, but for you, there's that kind of coming to consciousness of, I do want to be open, and I really hope I can be open to meeting the right man, woman, whoever, and we could work together as a team. And you're not just going to settle for anybody. You really want a long-term relationship, like this picture suggests, a place, someone who's going to make a place that's a hearth and a home, and this is going to be teamwork. And you realize, hey, instead of all the little houses here, right? You and your lover, you could just have a castle, even if you don't really have a castle. It'll be like a castle because, things will be so much fun like that as a couple. And I think that just when one realizes to themselves that they want that, it's very exhilarating. And I think you should be very much open to it, because that's what tarot is saying, to be open to the right person. So don't fall for somebody who's not going to bring anything to your situation, because we want to keep this in mind, these hard work ethics and goals and dreams. We just want to be open to having somebody to share it with, because that's what your path is leading you towards, is a couple situation. Okay, and finally, the heart group. Let's see, maybe I'll move these down a pinch. Okay. And the heart group. Okay, so 2 of Cups. So in the past, anything leading up from the past year in this situation, you've been really developing an intense friendship. I really think at this level platonic, but this has been, this could even have been, going for a lot of years, but really in the last few years of, I'm going to say trying times, like, when the world was shut down for COVID, things like that, that the reconnection of friendship was there. So somebody who, maybe you knew from high school, you knew as a kid, but just somebody you've known for this long time, reconnect, and you start, having all these common interests. It starts going deep. The same things fulfill you emotionally. So, for example, this woman, this woman likes Faust, and this guy, that's what he likes. He likes the, exact same thing, which is, that's not always that joke about love that's like falling in love with oneself, but there is that element of chemistry that is excited by, similar longings. So, like I said, doesn't have to be a subject. I just give an example, but to really just have this very made a foundation. So, this is being there for each other in this deep way, seeking knowledge and togetherness, friendship that is non-judgmental. Honestly, everything you're looking for in a platonic, girl-guy friendship, of course, whatever orientation, doesn't matter. And that really is going deep for you guys. We have the caduceus, so it's like this is having to do with like life and divinity, like that. A big part of life really is friendship, and it's just so. I really love this card even as much as the Lover's card because of how deep it is and how, this isn't just like people, sexual love. This is very deep, soul buddies, adventure buddies, people on the same path, that they're just there to lift each other up. But as I mentioned, a platonic situation. But that strength, that foundation is laid here. Now we move to strength. Now in strength, this is a feminine, strength, and she is taming a lion. So in this strength here, because of your friendship that you have been developing, deep friendship, it's given you a strength, and it really lit your fire in this way of, this person you've noticed you're not depressed after becoming friends, spiritual friends with this person. You realize how deep that is, how deep that sounds, which it is, but that really has done something transformative for you. And you found out recently, or you will find out, that this person is really struggling with it's a very tangible problem, but it's also a problem that there has to be mercy and compassion really shown into. So, this one of these people in your friendship, so it's either you or the person that the person that you're developing this beautiful friendship with. But in this scenario, I think it is the person that you're friends with is going to need your help, and it's going to be something where you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You would really have to put in so much work to help this person, and emotional energy, and there would have to be just a strength and patience. Strength and patience really go together, of being persistent and fighting this battle together. We've got the infinity symbol, and it's like the duality, like the yin yang. So we're waiting for that energy to come out the other side of this painful situation. that this person is in. Because honestly, you're the right person. That is why you have been called into their life. You are the right person who can help them, who can understand them. Because coming from the spiritual level, where you're both filled by the same emotional needs, wants, and desires, and then you really understand that person and their soul. So you understand best how to help them, and that's why you're back. That's why you're in their life, back in their life, or in their life. And but when this situation, you're able to help this person overcome. This is really going to help you balance not only yourself, but your relationship with them. This is really a moment of learning about you and who you are through helping and being with this person, knowing you're not alone. But it's really, of course, temperance is mixing, balancing everything right, so mixing things evenly. But we know this friendship, this beautiful friendship, is going to keep developing, and we don't know into what, because there's a dirt road and it goes up into the mountains, and the sun is barely rising. So this is just the beginning of your connection with this person. This relationship is going to become so much more, and it really is just the start of things for you guys. I think that when you really are going to help and sacrifice for this person, what you'll get out of this is knowing yourself deeply and knowing how to mix immediate needs with like spiritual needs and that kind of idea, to really being able to be a patient force that your partner definitely needed in this time, and the spiritual wisdom that you're going to get out of that you take with you, and your friendship will be completely balanced. So a tarot is not doesn't want you to focus on, are you going to have a sexual relationship eventually. It is saying that you keep mixing and matching, going back and forth. The two cups are like that communication of the emotional waters. Keep learning, keep growing together. That's what you're supposed to do, and go down this path, because you need to continue to mix together, to blend together through more experiences that include, once again, emotional, spiritual, and keep going together in the future. Know you have each other, which you obviously really hear that grew really deep and real. You have that, and go together now and let this yin yang continue to mix. So you tell me if it's going to be a relationship or just one of the, you know what? Friendships, platonic friendships, are way underrated, and they're probably one of the best things that you could have, because there's not that aspect of judgment, which is kind of like so attached to a relationship, where if somebody's your spouse or your mom or dad or whatever, your roommate, there's that expectation of that you have when people are dating or in a sexual relationship. But that's really why platonic friendships are really a great thing. So even if that's what's in store for you, that's one of the best treasures you could have. I really I really do understand that, and I'm telling you to really consider yourself lucky to find a friend like that. Yeah. Basically, I'll do the lover's card. We'll go over that really soon. I'll put timestamps in the description. Sorry if I like moved around a lot and whatever. My leg was falling asleep, but I had a lot of fun, and I'm going to go. So I'll see you all later. Peace out.